Hello there, and welcome to World of Tanks with Engani Titan. So once again I'm on the Charioteer. I've been playing the Charioteer quite a lot because I've been trying to complete another skill before I moved on to the Convoy. I've unlocked the top package in the Convoy using the free experience that I've been building up playing the Charioteer, and I'm now at 90% on the smooth ride on the Charioteer crew after battle. So once I get 30,000 points past the experience, past the completion of the skill, I'll move the crew onto the Convoy, so I should be able to get on with 100% tank mastery. It's best at tier 10 or 9 and 10 always to try and avoid driving tanks with crews that don't have tank mastery. If you do find yourself impatient and you move a crew up, then it's probably best to go down to premium tanks at lower tiers, tier 5 or whatever, tier 6, and just play them in those tiers until you get tank mastery completed, and then move them back to the tier 9 or 10 tank. So I'm going up to this spot here on the western side of the map, top of the road. It's a good sniping position, but only if tanks actually decide to come around the corner at the bottom, which they don't always do, but sometimes they do. And somebody fires at the guy up in the high window, and I managed to guess correctly to where he is, but then I don't get the opportunity to track that T-3485 in the open. Now, I fired too much to the rear of the Carnarvon, and he's angled too well, and it doesn't make any real impact. So but as soon as I fire the gun, I get spotted. I wonder how this tank would actually handle with a very high degree of skills invested into these stealth skills. If you had a crew with green thumb, muffle shot and silent driving, I wonder how effective, or how much more effective the tank would be. I suspect it might actually have a significant impact on it. The tank is rated as having a pretty high stealth capability, but at tier 8 I suppose a lot of players are driving around with tanks that are maxed out in terms of view range. A lot of veteran players at this stage will have situational awareness and recon on all of their tanks if they can possibly manage it, especially at the higher tiers.
They're trying to capture our base.
So I think I've exhausted the possibilities of this window here. There's nobody going to stick their nose around that corner with tanks parked in that location. So it's time to move over to the centre of the map. It's always important in Ensk to keep an eye on your mini-map. So as I pull out into the road here, Sixth Sense goes off, and I stop here between the buildings to try and ascertain where I've been spotted from. Now initially I thought it might have been somebody across the way on the railway or something, but it was probably one of the tanks in the square at proximity detecting me as I just drove across the road. So I have a look down the road and I don't see anybody. So I poke around, see if I can see anyone in the square. Now I take a snapshot of the Freedom. I probably should have waited for the tank to aim in somewhat. I've noticed the snapshots in the Charioteer never seem to work, but it's a habit I find hard to break because it was a very successful tactic on most of the British tanks. Most British tanks, the aiming times are so short that snapping off shots like that is really worthwhile. Now there's a light tank bullying one of our heavies, and that often can go badly for the heavy. So I've managed to finish off the Bulldog, which is a valuable tank taken out of the game. So at this point I'm between two minds whether I want to go left or right. So I'm kind of driving down the middle, swapping sides and see where the opportunities arise. I don't see anything coming out this side, so I head back in towards the railway yard again. Now the fortunate thing about the railway yard, of course, is there's no real crossing points. So I poked the corner here cautiously because there were tanks in the square earlier on, but they don't seem to have been there now. And I was thinking of going south, but then I thought if I crossed the square and just trigger the alert, it might cause people to hesitate about what they're doing, and I managed to get an opportunity to take out a tank while I was at it. Now I fluffed a shot here, but I don't hang around to face off an IS-3 in the open. That's a losing proposition for a tank like mine. I'm going to stick with the original plan, which is to go back down and help the guys near the enemy spawn point, so as to release that flank and they can come back over and then mop up the people around the cap circle. We are outnumbered at the moment, so it's important that the remaining tanks kind of stick together, and it's important that this guy gets taken out.
Another bad guy. They're trying to capture our base.
So I'm detected, and so are the allied tanks, but they decided to head south and around the southern end. So I've decided to go north. Hopefully they'll draw fire and attention and I might get flanking shots. And the Charioteer is reasonably fast, so I should be in a position to render assistance before these guys get annihilated. Now I've come out here and crashed into the railway because I kind of forgot that there is really no crossing point at the centre of this railway yard. It's completely blocked by trains. So I'm forced to go right up to the top. Now there are a couple of tanks operating in the houses just at the edge of the railway yard. There's a T-69 there, but he's not showing me enough with enough reliability given my aiming time. So I thought if I came around this side I might get him from the rear, but this road's covered by a couple of tanks. I get a shot off, but I take some return fire, including some fire from the T-69. I don't really to be hanging around in front of a T-69. That 4-shot clip could finish me off. Now he's trying to bait a shot here, so I just time his exit when I'm fully loaded and finish him off.
Enemies are capturing our base.
So now I'm going to wait for the reload before I pop back out onto the street, because there was a tank out there and I don't want to take fire without being in a position to return fire. Now it's time to actually knock some cap points of the tanks that are capping the cap circle, and we knock out the Freedom and clear the cap counter. And I use that dead Churchill's or Black Prince's cover, and the M103 rushes in. So we finish off the Freedom for the 6th kill, and the last guy in the cap circle is finished off, and that's it, game over. And we have a victory from behind, and I get a Top Gun. Yay! Over 2k damage, which is pretty good, and 6th class mastery. And it came top by experience. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider giving it a like, and please consider giving the channel a subscription. I'll catch you again soon.